Hello and welcome to ABC of News. Today's top story is Prime Minister Narendra Modi is standing firm against US pressure and continues to buy Russian oil, even after President Donald Trump raised tariffs on Indian goods to a massive 50%. The scale of India's Russian oil dependence is staggering. According to recent data, in just the first 7 months of 2025, India's largest refinery has imported 18.3 million tons of crude oil from Russia, a 64% year-on-year increase worth $8.7 billion. India has now become the biggest customer of Russian crude oil by volume. This dramatic increase in trade has pushed bilateral trade between New Delhi and Moscow to a record $68.7 billion for the year ended March 2025, contributing to $59 billion deficit for India. Yet Modi's administration shows no signs of backing down. President Trump's response has been swift and severe. Trump announced sweeping tariffs on India, an initial 25% tariff that went into effect, plus an additional 25% penalty tariff specifically targeting India's imports of Russian oil and gas, bringing the total to a crushing 50%. The timing and intensity of these measures signal Trump's determination to force India's compliance. Tensions are rapidly escalating as the Trump administration attempts to weaponize trade to alter India's energy security calculations. This clash between New Delhi and Washington is more than just about oil. It's about sovereignty, economic survival, and global geopolitics. Over the next few minutes, we will break down what exactly is happening, what Prime Minister Modi and Foreign Minister Jaishankar have said, and what this could mean for India, the US, and the world. To understand this, let's rewind. Earlier this month, the US government imposed an additional 25% tariff on Indian exports, doubling the rate to 50% on a wide range of goods. The move came after repeated warnings from Washington that India's continued purchase of discounted Russian oil was undermining Western sanctions on Moscow. The tariffs announced by the Department of Homeland Security apply to labor-heavy industries like textiles, leather, jewelry, seafood, and engineering products. For many exporters, this could mean their products instantly become uncompetitive in the American market, which happens to be India's biggest export destination. So how did India respond? Prime Minister Narendra Modi is defiant and he is not backing down. Rather than capitulating on American pressure, Modi has doubled down on his India First policy. Modi struck a defiant tone, urging the nation to buy local goods, while his administration signaled it would continue buying Russian oil. In a calculated political move, Modi appeared to address the tariffs by stating that he would not compromise on the interests of Indian farmers. During his Independence Day address from the iconic Red Fort in Delhi, Modi called for self-reliance and national pride. Wearing a bright saffron turban, he declared, "We should become self-reliant, not out of desperation, but out of pride. Economic selfishness is on the rise globally, but India will not allow others to hold us in their clutches." Modi has sent a strong message that India's energy choices will not be dictated by Washington. He is essentially saying that India will buy oil from wherever it wants, whenever it wants, if it serves its national interests. Perhaps the most telling sign of Modi's defiance comes from recent reports by German newspaper Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, FAZ. According to the prominent German daily, Trump has made at least 4 attempts to reach Modi by telephone in recent weeks, but the Indian Prime Minister has refused to take his calls. As Yahoo News reports, Trump has tried 4 times in recent weeks to get Modi on the phone, but Modi refuses to take the call, according to FAZ sources. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar was even more blunt. Speaking at a press conference in Moscow, Jaishankar dismissed Washington's criticism. He said, "If you have a problem with Indian buying oil or refined products from Russia, then don't buy from us. Europe buys, America buys. If you don't like it, don't buy it." He highlighted what he called Western hypocrisy. Europe, he argued, continues to buy large volumes of Russian energy through indirect routes, while the US itself buys refined products linked to Russian crude. Yet India, whose imports are still smaller in comparison, is being singled out.
You have a problem buying oil from India, oil or refined products, don't buy it. Nobody forced you to buy it. It's funny, you have people who work for a pro-business American administration accusing other people of...
Now let's ask the key question. Why India keeps buying Russian oil? Why is India so defiant? There are three main reasons to this. The first reason is energy security. India is the world's third largest oil importer. Buying Russian crude at steep discounts, sometimes as much as 20 to 30% cheaper, helps keep domestic fuel prices stable. This is critical to a country with 1.4 billion people, where inflation can spark political unrest. The second reason is foreign exchange savings. India pays for much of its Russian crude purchase in rupees or in currencies other than dollar, helping reduce its dependence on the US dollar. This fits into New Delhi's larger de-dollarization strategy. And the third reason is strategic autonomy. India has always prided itself on independent foreign policy. Whether it was during the Cold War or today, New Delhi balances relations with multiple powers. Backing down under US pressure would be seen as compromising sovereignty. There will be economic impact, and of course this defiance comes at a cost. Analysts estimate that 50% tariffs could cut Indian exports to the US by up to 40%. Industries like textiles and seafood, employing millions of workers, will be the hardest hit. But from New Delhi's perspective, the short-term pain on exports may be worth it. Why? Because energy security affects every single citizen, from the price of petrol and diesel to the cost of cooking gas and food transportation. In other words, oil discounts from Russia directly keeps inflation under control in India. This is not just an India-US issue, it has global consequences. For Russia, India and China remains its biggest oil customers, helping Moscow bypass Western sanctions. For China, if India slows purchases under pressure, Chinese refiners will quickly step in, as seen in recent months. For BRICS, India's refusal to bend strengthens the bloc's argument for alternative trade routes and payment systems beyond the US dollar. For the US, the tariffs may hurt Indian exporters but could also push New Delhi closer to Moscow and Beijing, which is something Washington might not want in the long run. The conclusion is that Prime Minister Modi and Foreign Minister Jaishankar have sent a very clear message. India will not be bullied into giving up Russian oil. Modi frames it as pride and self-reliance. Jaishankar calls out Western hypocrisy. And together, they argue that India's first duty is to its own people, not to Washington's foreign policy goals. But with 50% tariffs now in place, the big question is, how long can India absorb the economic cost? And will this strain the India-US partnership? What do you think? Should India stand firm, or should it compromise for smoother trade ties with the US? Let us know your comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to ABC of News, and hit the bell icon for more updates on global politics and Indian economy.